At my wife's birthday party I paid for, my wife said, I'm proud of all my friends and family, except the loser, sitting at the table, my husband. Everyone laughed. I stood up, placed a secret paper on the table and said, for you wife, happy birthday. Then I walked outside. Moments later, she screamed when she finally opened it. Chapter 1. The Men Behind the Smile. For the last 7 years I was the man who kept things together quietly. I wasn't flashy, I didn't wear designer suits, I didn't dominate conversations, but I worked hard, paid every bill, supported my wife's dream of becoming a lifestyle influencer, cooked, cleaned. Even handled the guest list for her surprise birthday party, the one she insisted be exclusive and elegant. I paid for every detail, the rooftop venue, the catered seafood dinner, the custom cake, even the stupid floral arrangements that cost more than my monthly car payment. I thought it was love. I thought she appreciated it. Turns out, I was a fool with a wallet and a target on my back. The red flags weren't obvious at first. They started small. She stopped holding my hand in public, started dressing up only when she was meeting friends. She'd giggle at her phone and hide the screen when I walked by. But every time I asked if something was wrong, she'd scoff. God, you're paranoid. It's not my fault you're insecure. I chalked it up to stress. Maybe I was overthinking. I didn't realize I was being emotionally replaced until 3 months ago, when I found a receipt. It was for a boutique hotel signed under her name. The checkout date. The night she said she was sleeping over at her cousin's to help with a breakup. That same night she came home with a faint hickey just under her hairline, hidden unless you knew where to look. I didn't say anything. Not yet. I just started collecting evidence. Messages. Screenshots. Even voice recordings from a little device I'd quietly installed in our bedroom when I couldn't sleep from the anxiety anymore. And what I heard broke something in me. Her voice, soft and teasing. He's just boring. But he pays for everything. That's why I married him. Honestly, you could take his place in a heartbeat. A man laughed. Another voice, smooth and deep. Then maybe it's time, baby. Maybe I will. Still I said nothing. Not yet. Because revenge isn't loud. It's silent. Cold. Beautifully executed. The party was at sunset. She walked in like a queen. All eyes on her. Blowing air kisses to her friends. Everyone clapped. I stood off to the side smiling like a proud husband. I watched her toast champagne with people I barely knew. Influencers. Her gym trainer. Her high school ex. Even her affair partner. Yep, I recognized him. He winked at her when he thought no one noticed. And still, I said nothing. Until the moment came. She clinked her glass with a spoon and stood before everyone. Then she said it. I just want to say thank you to everyone who made tonight amazing. I'm so proud of all my friends and family. Except the loser sitting at the table. My husband. Everyone laughed. Even her mother. Even her lover. I stood up. Calmly. Without a word. Pulled a single envelope from my coat pocket. Walked up to the table. And placed it right in front of her with a soft smile. For you, wife. Happy birthday. Then I walked out. And waited by the elevator. 10 seconds later I heard it. Her scream. Then gasps. Then chaos. Inside that envelope wasn't just a card. It was the truth. And that was just the beginning. Chapter 2. The unraveling begins. The scream that followed me into the elevator wasn't just loud. It was panicked. Guttural. The kind of scream that comes from someone whose carefully built facade just cracks straight down the middle. I didn't turn around. The doors slid shut. And for the first time in months, I breathed. The contents of the envelope. Everything. Printed screenshots of her conversations with her affair partner. Hotel receipts. A copy of the prenup she conveniently forgot existed, which specifically stated that infidelity nullified any claim to shared property. A letter addressed to every person at that table. I titled it, In Case You Thought This Was a Joke. Inside I wrote, To everyone who laughed I paid for this venue. The dinner, the drinks, the decorations. All of it. And while I was being mocked by the woman I loved, she was sleeping with the men sitting 2 seats away from her. Enjoy the rest of the evening. You'll never see either of us again. I signed it with my name and a link. A Dropbox folder. It contained videos, screenshots, audio files. Even a copy of the updated divorce papers, which my lawyer had couriered to the party while I walked out. Yes. While they toasted to my humiliation, the server was on his way up with an envelope of his own. I checked my phone an hour later. 42 missed calls, 17 voicemails, and one message that stood out. Mom, what happened? Your wife is hysterical. People are leaving. She's blaming you for embarrassing her. I didn't respond. Instead, I opened a bottle of scotch I'd been saving for the right moment, took one sip, and waited. Because I knew that was just the beginning. The next day, the fallout hit like a landslide. Her affair partner's fiancé, yes, turns out he wasn't single, had also received the Dropbox. She posted a video to Instagram. Mascara streaked down her face, holding the printed screenshots, calling out both her fiancé and my wife by name. By noon, it had gone viral. Trash couple. Birthday blow up. Wife exposed. She deleted her social media by 3 p.m. By 4 p.m., she was fired from her brand deal with a skincare company that didn't tolerate breaches of character. By 5 p.m., the gym she always filmed content in suspended her membership. And by nightfall, she was knocking at the door of the apartment I'd secretly rented a month ago. I watched her through the peephole. Mascara smeared, dress wrinkled, voice cracking. Please, I made a mistake. I didn't mean to hurt you like that. You never showed emotion. I thought you didn't care. I didn't open the door. I just said calmly, you're not sorry. You're just humiliated. Then I walked away. She didn't know it, but the landlord had already been instructed to call security if she returned. This was no longer her story. It was mine now. Chapter 3. She thought it couldn't get worse. But it did. By the next morning, my story had traveled further than I ever expected. It started when someone anonymously posted clips from the Dropbox on Reddit, tagging it. Wife humiliates husband at party, then regrets it instantly. Within hours, it was trending on r/pro-revenge and r/am I the a-hole. TikTok picked it up next. Content creators were reenacting the scene with dramatic voiceovers. Everyone laughed. I stood up, placed a secret paper on the table and said, "Happy birthday, wife," and walked out. Comment sections exploded. This is cinema. This guy is a legend. Justice served with style. We need a Netflix series now. But for her, the story was very real. Her phone number was leaked. Her Instagram was flooded. Old videos of her calling me boring and too passive resurfaced, now viewed through a brand new lens. The internet loved watching her fall from grace. And so did I. Meanwhile, the legal hammer falls. I wasn't done with just social shame. Because while she was busy sobbing into Instagram stories, I was finalizing the legal side. Remember that prenup she mocked? The one she said didn't matter anymore. It mattered now. My lawyer, a calm, ruthless professional, had already filed the divorce on the grounds of infidelity, with evidence so airtight the judge granted a preliminary injunction on all shared assets. Which meant, she couldn't touch the house, she couldn't access our accounts. And worst of all, for her, she had to vacate the property within 72 hours. I didn't even need to lift a finger. A court order did all the talking. And her affair partner. He was in even worse shape. Turns out his fiancée had been helping fund his little influencer business. When she found out about the affair, she froze their joint accounts, deleted the website she built for him, and took her name off the LLC she co-owned. He messaged me that night. Brian. Hey man. I know things got messed up, but maybe we can talk. Just want to clear the air. I replied with a single emoji. Trash can emoji. No words needed. The final twist. My secret exit plan. What no one knew was this. I'd planned everything months in advance. I'd known about the affair for 3 months. I'd opened a new business account, shifted my assets, rented a new condo in a different city, even accepted a remote job offer with a 40% raise. While she thought I was working late and emotionally distant, I was preparing for escape and elevation. So when the chaos hit, I didn't just survive it. I disappeared from her reach entirely. New number, new apartment, new life. Last thing she ever heard from me. 3 days after the divorce was finalized, I sent her a final letter. Happy belated birthday. You unwrapped the truth and got exactly what you deserved. I'm not bitter. I'm not broken. I'm better. And you? You'll spend the rest of your life explaining why I left with nothing, and still ended up with everything. 6 months later, I barely recognized the man I'd become. And I mean that in the best way possible. No more stress. No more walking on eggshells. No more begging for love or pretending everything was okay while dying inside. Instead, my mornings were quiet. I'd wake up, make my own coffee, go for a jog through a tree-lined path near my new place, and sometimes just sit in the silence with a book. Real peace, no performance, no noise. And when I looked in the mirror, I saw someone with clarity in his eyes again. Someone I was actually proud to be. What happened to her? Well, word gets around. After the fallout, she tried to rebuild her social circle. But people had seen too much. Her followers dwindled. Her brand collabs dried up. The birthday party video kept resurfacing every few weeks like a bad dream she couldn't delete. She moved back in with her mom. The same mom who clapped and laughed when I got publicly humiliated. According to a mutual acquaintance, she'd been applying for jobs and getting ghosted. Turns out, burning bridges while live streaming your collapse wasn't great for your resume. And Brian. He was now known as the guy who got dumped twice in 1 week. Apparently, he started a podcast about masculine energy and personal reinvention. Last I checked, it had 37 subscribers and one hilarious 1-star review. Maybe cheat less, reinvent more. And me? I didn't go looking for love. But it found me anyway. A woman I met through a professional networking event. Not flashy, not performative. Just kind, grounded, and deeply real. She knew about the viral story, of course. Who didn't? But she said something I'll never forget. You didn't take revenge to hurt someone. You took revenge to set yourself free. That's what makes the story powerful. We're not rushing anything. And that's the beauty of it. After years of being gaslit, manipulated, and discarded, I don't need drama. I just need truth. Epilogue. The real revenge. Let's be honest. The wine in the face. That was dramatic. The court-ordered eviction. That was justice. The online humiliation. That was karma. But the real revenge. That was walking away without ever looking back. It was the quiet power of choosing myself over and over again. Let her tell her side. Let her spin the narrative. It doesn't matter anymore. Because when I stood up at that dinner table and dropped that envelope, I wasn't just ending a toxic marriage. I was starting a new life. And I made damn sure she'd never be invited into it again. Enjoyed this real pro-revenge story? Subscribe for more brutal tales of betrayal and bold comebacks. Drop a comment if you've ever stood up for yourself when it wasn't easy. And if you've got a story of your own, we're ready to tell it. Because healing doesn't whisper. Sometimes, it roars. If you enjoyed the story and want to hear more just like it, don't forget to like the video, drop a comment with your thoughts and subscribe for more stories. Your support helps these stories reach more people, and trust me, the next one, it's even wilder.